Good morning everyone. Ayan, so pag-usapan natin ang nangyari sa ikasyam na impeachment trial ni Vice President Sara Zimmerman Duterte. Dito po ay makikita natin kung gaano nga ba kahusay si Attorney Mark Vinluan na ipakita, iparinig no, sa taong bayan kung paano nagsisinungaling itong si NBI Director Melvin Matibag. Okay? So may babasahin lamang po ako, no? Ito po ay aking sinulat, ito po ay aking Facebook account. So ito po, no, para sa akin ay inamin po, no? Inamin po mismo ni NBI Director Melvin Matibag, no, na walang krimen doon sa nangyaring press conference ni Vice President Sara Zimmerman Duterte. Inamin din po ni NBI Director na yung naging pahayag ni Baste Duterte kaugnay doon sa pupugutan ng ulo ay wala pong kaakibat o wala pong maitatawag na krimen. Sapagkat malinaw po mga kaibigan, doon sa Act number 3815, ang chapter po nito ay 1, ito po ay tungkol sa felonies. Malinaw po sa Article 8, nakalagay po dito, babasahin ko na lamang ng buo at eksakto. I-research din po ninyo Act number 3815, chapter 1, felonies. Article number 8, conspiracy and proposal to commit felony. Okay, yun po yung pamagat. Conspiracy and proposal to commit felony are punishable only in the cases in which the law specifically provides a penalty thereof. So, ibig sabihin mga kaibigan, sa puntong ito, sinasabi na ang conspiracy and proposal daw ay magiging punishable lamang kung mayroong batas na magpaparusa doon sa kanilang gagawing krimen. Okay? Sapagkat kung ang krimen na pinag-uusapan ay hindi po naisasagawa at hindi pa nangyayari, wala pong batas na maaaring gamitin para kasuhan ang taong nagsalita. Malinaw po yan. Sinasabi nga rin po sa ating batas, there is no crime if there is no law punishing it. Yun po ang ibig sabihin nito. Okay? Kahit nasabihin pa natin na a conspiracy exists when two or more persons come to an agreement concerning the commission of a felony and decide to commit it. Okay? Conspiracy daw when exists, no? Yung dalawa o tatlo o higit pang katao ay nagpaplano, nagkaroon ng agreement. Pero, again, kapag hindi po sila gumawa ng kanilang napag-usapan, there is no crime. There is also a proposal when the person who has decided to commit a felony proposes its execution to some other person. So sa puntong ito mga kaibigan, malinaw na ang naging pahayag ni na Vice President Sara Duterte at Baste Duterte ay hindi po nangyayari hanggang sa ngayon, up to this time. Hindi po naipapatay si Pangulong Marcos Jr., si Liza Araneta at si House Speaker Martin Romualdez. Buhay na buhay po sila. Pangalawa, hindi rin po nakuha ni Baste Duterte na pugutan ng ulo. And the same with the Vice President. Wala pong napugutan ng ulo. And I must say that Attorney Mark Vinluan is on point on this cross-examination. Okay? So, meron tayo dito guys na sinulat, no? Transcript po ng kanilang cross-examination. Sabi po ni Attorney Vinluan, you likewise mentioned yesterday that you have an ongoing investigation, and my question is this for the alleged contracting for the assassination? Sabi po ni Matibag, yes, that is very case. I was able to explain that yesterday. Binluang. And particularly, the ongoing investigation pertained to the leads that you have to the alleged person that BP Sara talked to. Among others, Your Honor, ang tugon po ni Matibag. But no subpoena has been issued to such alleged person under your leadership. Ang naging tugon po naman ni Attorney Binluang. Ang sagot po dito ni NBI Director Matibag, because we are under a case build-up status. It is an ongoing investigation as mentioned yesterday, sir. Okay, now, let me just clarify. In a subpoena, the NBI must specifically identify the felony or crime for which you are issuing the subpoena. Is that not the case? So, ibig sabihin dito ni Attorney Binluang, kapag naglalabas daw o nagpapadala ng subpoena, dapat malinaw doon na nakasulat, nakalagay kung anong specific na felony or crime or krimen yung nakasulat doon sa subpoena. No? So, ang sinasabi dito ni Matibag, ang sagot niya, yes, we provide what is the crime that we investigate. So, sabi po ni Matibag, yes, inilagay daw nila kung ano yung krimen na kanilang iniimbestigahan. So, sabi po ni Binluang, okay, very well. So, here, okay, what will be the felony or crime that will be indicated in the subpoena? Okay, so dito, no, malinaw yung tatlong yun, yung salitang yun. Okay, sabi niyang gano'n ni Attorney Mark Binluang, kung malinaw pala yung krimen, ano yung nakasulat doon sa subpoena? Anong krimen? At ito po ang naging sagot ni NBI Director Matibag. But you have to remember, we also have the mandate to protect the Constitution, to protect the peace and order. And if it goes to the national security and peace and order, we are also mandated to investigate. So, ang sagot po dito ni Attorney Mark Binluang, Your Honor, with all due respect, Your Honor, the answer was not responsive. My answer was very specific. My question was very specific. What will be the felony or crime that will be indicated in the subpoena? So, dito po ay sumagot na si Presiding Officer Chis Escudero at ang kanyang sinabi, witness will please answer. The question was simple. What is the crime, if any, or penalty in relation to the document being asked by the counsel? So, ito po yung naging tugon ni Matibag kay Presiding Officer Chis Escudero. We all know that there is no crime committed. Ayan, malinaw po yun ha. We all know that there is no crime committed. So, alam po niya na walang krimen when there's a plan to kill until it is executed. Sa bibig na po narinig, sa bunganga na po narinig, no? Sa bunganga ni Matibag, sinabi niya dito, wala raw krimen kapag ang pagpaplano na patayin o pagpatay ay hindi na-execute o hindi nagawa. But what I'm saying, that's why I'm qualifying, is because one of the mandates of the National Bureau of Investigation is to protect the national security. And we are also mandated to issue a subpoena for an investigation to do so. So if in this case, we cannot issue a subpoena, we can issue an invitation for those person of interest. So, ibig sabihin nito mga kaibigan, sabi po ni NBI Director Matibag, hindi na subpoena, no? So, hindi na subpoena yung gusto niya pong sabihin dito. Invitation na raw. Okay, so sige, invitation. Given. Ito po yung naging tugon ni Binluang. So, you cannot issue a subpoena, but just an invitation. In other words, this is not under jurisdiction of the NBI. Correct? So, ibig sabihin po dito ni Attorney Mark Binluang, hindi pwedeng mag-issue ng subpoena si NBI Director. At inamin na rin po ito ni NBI Director. Hindi po sila pwedeng mag-issue ng subpoena kasi hindi nila alam kung ano yung krimen na nagawa o itatawag doon sa krimen na yun. Okay? So, sabi dito ni Attorney Binluan, kung ganoon na invitation lamang yung ipapadala doon sa persons of interest, hindi na ito jurisdiction ng NBI. Ito po yung tanong ni Attorney Mark Binluan. And then, sabi po ni Matibag, it is within the power of the National Bureau of Investigation to protect the national interest and national security. And as mentioned, there is a continuing threat to the President under Section G, Section 5 of the Republic Act 10867. It is one of the primary duty of the NBI to protect the security of the President. Binluan said, all right, yesterday, you also mentioned betrayal of public trust. Correct? That's correct, sabi po ni Matibag. Can that be indicated in the subpoena when you issue against this alleged person? And ito po yung naging tugon ni Matibag. It can be or it can be not. But why will we put the subject betrayal of public trust if the person being subpoenaed is not being tried for betrayal of public trust? So, ang sinasabi po dito ni Attorney Binluan, okay, kung ang sinasabpina daw po dapat ninyo ay betrayal of public trust, bakit hindi iyon ang inilagay doon sa subpoena kung mayroon man? At kung dapat ba silang mag-issue ng subpoena? Okay? So, bakit hindi inilagay na betrayal of public trust? So, ito po yung naging tugon, no? Ni Matibag, no? It can be or it cannot be, it can be not. Alright? So, eto po, sabi po ni Attorney Binluan, what if it's against the Vice President? Just to clarify, can we or can the subpoena indicate betrayal of public trust? So, eto po. Sabi po ni Matibag, we cannot put that because that is not a subject of a case under the revised penal code or a crime. The betrayal of public trust is the very well subject of an impeachment court. So, alright. So, you admit, nonetheless, that betrayal of public trust is a ground for impeachment. Correct. Sabi po ni Binluan. So, sabi po ni Matibag, that is correct. I think it's in the Constitution. So, sabi po ni Binluan, alright. And are you saying that once you reach your findings, because we're all waiting for that, it is correct to say that we will file another impeachment case against the Vice President Sara Duterte? Sabi po ni Matibag, oh, thank you for that question. So that I can. So, dito na po ang nag-object ang counsel. Your Honor, that is speculative. So, sabi naman po ni presiding officer, I think the witness is competent enough and in fact, thank the counsel for his question. I'm interested to hear what the witness will also answer. O, di ba? Mga kaibigan, napakaganda po, napakahaba po nito. Panoorin po ninyong mabuti. At eto na nga mga kaibigan, yung hina-highlights, no, ni Senator Judge Panfilo Ping Lacson. Ginagamit po at ginamit yung affidavit, yung pahayag, yung statement ni Arturo Las Cañas. Okay? And isa dito sa mga statement na ito ay ipinadala sa International Criminal Court na kung saan ay kinwestiyon po, no? Sabi nga po ni Jinky Beatrix Luistro ay ang ICC daw ay hindi kumbaga tinanggap daw yung dokumento na hindi naman ninotarize. Ang sagot po dito ni presiding officer Chis Escudero, hindi naman ito ICC. So, bakit hindi notaryado? Okay? So, to cut the story, may pagkakamali po tayong nakikita dito sa ginawa ng presiding officer. Ano po ito? ang payagan na gamitin ng prosecution ang affidavit, yung statement ni Arturo Las Cañas. Dahil unang-una, yung statement ni Arturo Las Cañas 3 beses na nirevise, 3 beses na ipinakita, 3 beses na binago niya yung kanyang salaysay, yung kanyang sinasabi sa statement na yon 3 beses. At alam yan, binanggit yan ni Panfilo Lacson, okay, ni Senator Judge Ping Lacson. Alam niya kung ilang beses nagpalit-palit ng salaysay o nagbago-bago ng salaysay si Arturo Las Cañas. So, malinaw na questionable ang dokumento. Pangalawa, wala pong sign o signature o pirma o sulat man lamang ng kanyang pangalan. Wala pong signed yung dokumentong yon. Pangatlo, hindi po notaryado yung dokumento. And yet, gagamitin itong basihan ni NBI Director Melvin Matibag para sagutin ang mga katanungan ng mga senator judges. Malinaw mga kaibigan na sa pagpipresenta ng mga dokumento, kinakailangang authenticated ang mga ito. Yung mga ebidensya, mga patunay na susuporta po doon sa reklamo, kailangang authenticated po ang mga dokumento. Authenticated ang mga ebidensya ninyo. Hindi po pwede na gamitin ninyo yung isang salaysay dahil lamang gusto nyong patunayan ay ang pattern. Diba? Pattern ng pagiging behavior ni VP Sara Duterte. Papatunayan ninyo yung behavior na yun sa pamamagitan ng isang salaysay na 3 beses nagpaulit-ulit, nagpabago-bago. So meron tayong procedure para ma-authenticate ang isang dokumento. And that is very clear. That is very clear. Dapat authenticated. Dapat kinausap si Arturo Las Cañas, pinapirmahan sa kanya yung kanyang statement. Bukod dyan ay iniharap ito sa isang notary public officer o abogado o lawyer na nagno-notarize sa harapan po mismo ng notary public. Pipirmahan yung mismong statement na yon, yung mismong affidavit na yon. Yan po ang tamang pag-authenticate ng isang dokumento. Kung saan nanggaling ang dokumento, kanino nanggaling ang dokumento, you must bring it to that area or person. So ito, panoorin natin mga kaibigan, yung questioning ni Senator Judge Ping Lacson.
Prosecutor for her manifestation. As I understand, she asked for time for a huddle to determine whether she will still conduct redirect. So, Senator Judge Lacson is recognized. You have 2 minutes, sir.
Thank you, Sir Presiding Officer. Follow-up lang ito doon sa mga points raised by Senator Judge Rafi Tulfo kahapon relating to 3 similar cases. Ronald Mas, Mayor Baste Duterte, saka VP Sara. Hindi ko na bibelabor yung Ronald Mas and Mayor Baste kasi aware naman ako doon sa Rule 113 Section 5, yung sa warrantless arrest, na hindi pwedeng apply. Nagkamali nga yung NBI kay Ronald Mas, kaya na-dismiss yung case, di po ba? But I'm more interested in the cases of Mayor Baste at saka kay VP Sara. Kasi almost similar yung kanila mga sinabi, pero I'm just wondering why you did not investigate Mayor Baste, pero si Mayor Sara, hindi lang kayo nag-investigate, nag-repair pa kayo ng complaint sa DOJ, hindi po ba?
Yun po yung amin pong ginawang investigasyon ay doon na po sa threat na sinasabi namin na pangalawakan. Yung dito po kay Mayor Baste, kaya hindi po natin na inimbestigahan, isinasama po namin dito sa task force na ito to come out with the report. eventually. But we have coordination also po with the
So-
other agencies.
Yes. So walang ongoing law enforcement investigation against Mayor Baste.
Kasama po dito sa ano po namin sa Special Task Force po.
Yung bang special task force, and this was, this was also raised by the presiding officer nung nasa lounge kami kanina, na-form ba ito in relation to or in reference to the case of Mayor Baste o kay Vice President Sara?
Yung pong trigger point na nangyari dito ay yung pong kay Mayor Basti po. But prior to that, we are continually monitoring the threat. Kasama po sa aming pag-uusap yan. In fact, yung pong aming reporting ng records as early as nung nag-assume po ako ng February, mga first week pa lang po ng March kasama na po sa reporting yung mga threat assessment. But nung napansin po namin na itong rage rally na to can escalate to a bigger threat to the national security, dun po namin ipinasok ito.
So mas ang ginamit niyo yung kay Mayor Baste as an open source kesa sa mag-file kayo ng criminal complaint against Mayor Baste.
Ganun po yung naging process namin dito, but eventually we have an agreement within us that if we can establish that the elements for grave threat will be there, we will be contemplating also on filing a grave threat and inciting to sedition as well.
Pero halos pareho eh. Kaya iniisip ko, baka meron double standard. Bakit kayo nag-focus kay Vice President pero hindi yun apply kay Mayor Baste? Halos pareho sinabi nila eh, na maliwanag naman, bukod doon sa January 2026, na ulit pa ng April 12, di ba? Na sinabing Romanov, threat against the first family, nasundan pa ng pupugot, ang kailangan lang namin yung ulo. So pero kay Vice President, halos ganun din eh. Pero bakit inimbestigahan nyo kay Vice President Sara at na-refer nyo na sa DOJ for PI, pero yung kay Mayor Baste parang ang level nasa law enforcement investigation pa rin.
Sapagkat ang isa pong dinedevelop namin dito na jury po is yung sabuatan. And alam po natin, if we go to court using the jury of conspiracy, medyo mas mahirap po na ipasok na kaso. Kaya it taking much time to develop the case po.
May request for additional time, Mr. Presiding Officer. Punta lang ko kay Las Cañas.
Opo.
Okay, yung kay Las Cañas, ginamit nyo yung kanyang affidavit na sinabit sa ICC.
Tama po.
Parang pang-open source.
Tama
Not for
po, sir.
anything, di ba?
Not for anything po.
So
yes,
walang
sir.
evidentiary value ito.
Ayun po ay ang basehan namin, kaya po namin iprinisinta. Isa po sa naging basehan namin doon po sa, isa nga doon sa 5 standards po natin na pattern of violence po.
Pero wala kayong intention na kung magpapile kayo ng kaso, isasabit yung affidavit niya na sinabit sa ICC.
As a matter of preference lang po for the purposes of establishing the pattern of violence. But to directly papanagutin po sa isang criminal or what, sa palagay ko po baka po hindi ito tatanggapin ng korte po.
Yeah, kasi kung open source, hindi nga tatanggapin ng korte.
Tama po.
Kasi kung open source, kung nag-extend pa kayo, in-expand nyo yung open source information gathering, dapat sana nireview nyo rin yung aming committee hearing dito. No? Yung na-mention kanina ng defense, na initially, deny talaga si Arturo Las Cañas tungkol sa DDS, EJK, etc. Eventually, nag-retract siya talagang 180 degrees. No? Sinabi niya, totoo yung EJK, hindi ba dapat part ninyo ng open source information gathering ninyo?
Tama po. Actually, nung binasa po namin yung affidavit, may isang paragraph doon na nagtukoy nga dyan na nag-testify as binawi. Ang sinundan na po namin dito, at naalala ko po, meron kasing yung report to sa 24 oras after ng pre-trial po sa ICC, nagkaroon po ng interview kay Las Cañas kung saan sinasabi niya yung affidavit na ginawa niya na isinabit sa ICC, at nung kinukumpara po namin doon sa sinasabi niya, lumalabas na yun po.
Pangatlo na po yun.
So,
Alam nyo, iba yung affidavit niya, yung kanyang testimony sa Public Order and Legal Drugs Committee, which as I said earlier, I chaired. No? Kaya alam ko yung familiar ako. Then after that, nag-retract siya. Talagang complete turnaround.
Tama po.
So I even consulted a retired justice na kaibigan ko, ano bang mas patimbang dito? Ang sabi niya, talagang jurisprudence, yung original na statement ang mananaig kesa doon sa parang binaligtad na statement. which I also agreed. Ang point ko lang is, bakit parang namili lang kayo ng open source?
Tiningnan po
Kung
namin.
tinignan nyo yung sa ICC na sabit na pagkahaba-haba, sa akin nga po sinabi kanina, pangatlo na po yung magkaibang affidavits ni Arturo Las Cañas. May nauna, may pangalawa, pangatlo na po itong pinapakita sa screen kahapon.
Tama po, and we are also aware dun sa pagbali-baligtad, but on the news that I was mentioning po, Your Honor, mismong sinabi niya, pipirmahan yung affidavit, at sinabi po niya, this is 186 pages. So, nang tinitingnan po namin, yung statement na yan, tumugma. At pangalawa, it's been the subject already of an ICC. It's being used as an evidence. At least there is a legitimate court that looking into it, which is it was considered na ibig sabihin, tinanggap po ng isang lehitimo na korte po.
Yeah, I'm not trying to put you on the spot. I'm just trying to be fair, ano?
Apo.
Kasi gusto ko talagang maliwanagan para pagdating ng taktang oras, alam ko yung aking boto.
Tama po.
Salamat po.
Salamat
Thank you,
po.
Senator Judge Lacson.
Dito naman mga kaibigan, sa puntong ito ay makikita natin, maririnig natin, matutuklasan natin at mahahalata, no? Kung paano kung paano nataranta at nasira ang script ng prosecution. Okay, dito po ay pinagalitan. Ayan, talaga namang pinagalitan ang lead prosecutor na si Congresswoman Jinky Beatrix Luistro. Bakit, mga kaibigan? Dahil sa kanyang mga manifestation kuno. Okay? Yung kanyang manifestations kuno ay hindi po manifestations kundi conclusions of law. No, ano po ibig sabihin nito? Naririnig natin, napapanood natin, sinusubaybayan natin ang impeachment trial. Sa makatwid, mga kaibigan, wala pa pong desisyon. Hindi pa po natin alam kung ano yung magiging final verdict. So, ibig sabihin, nagsasagawa pa lamang ng malalim na investigation. Okay? Mayroong mga witness na ihaharap at i-cross-examine ng depensa. So, wala pa pong hatol kung napatunayan ba ng prosecution, na ipakita ba ng prosecution, no, yung kanilang depensa. Okay? Wala pa po. So, dito ay ilang beses na napagalitan, no? Napagalitan itong si Congresswoman Jinky Beatrix Luistro. Panoorin natin.
Yes, what is the pleasure of the lead prosecutor? Shall you conduct redirect?
Your Honor, the prosecution believes that we have sufficiently established that the threat to the President constitutes
Objection, Your Honor.
threat to the national
Again, Your
security.
Honor, inconsistent.
Counsel, you are once again reminded to kindly avoid
Yes, Your Honor.
conclusions of law. The question was simple, so I guess you will not conduct any further redirect.
Nonetheless, Your Honor, there are some manifestations that I would like to make.
As long as these are not conclusions of fact and law, Counsel, as
Yes,
you have
Your
been reminded and guided accordingly. You may proceed.
It is the position, Your Honor, of the prosecution that we have established
Objection, Your Honor. Again, this is a conclusion of fact and law, Your Honor.
Counsel, the counsel for respondent is correct. I will give the same limitation to whatever manifestations he will make in this regard. Let me do it for you. I guess you're not conducting any redirect anymore because
I
you're
have another
satisfied
manifestation, Your Honor.
and you're contented with the with the testimony given by the witness you presented. What is your second manifestation?
Nais ko
Prosecutor?
lamang pong liwanagin, Your Honor, kaugnay ng affidavit ni Arturo Las Cañas. Ito po ay ipresenta ng prosecution bilang bahagi ng testimonya ng witness, kagaya na po ng sinabi ng presiding officer ng 3 ulit, pinayagang ipresenta ang affidavit ni Las Cañas bilang bahagi ng testimonya at bilang bahagi ng naging investigation. ng Special Task Force ng National Bureau of Investigation. It was never claimed by the
yun, sir?
prosecution that this affidavit
Tupad.
is notarized. Kailanman po ay hindi sinabi ng prosecution na notarized ang dokumentong ito. Ito po'y iprenesenta bilang bahagi lamang ng testimonya ng witness at bilang bahagi din ng investigation ng NBI. To conclude, Your Honor,
Short rejoinder on that, Your Honor.
The lead prosecutor is not yet finished.
to conclude, Your Honor, the prosecution finds it unnecessary.
Objection, Your Honor. Same ground.
Allow the lead prosecutor to finish.
The prosecution finds it unnecessary to conduct redirect examination.
Oh, hindi na po
Thank you,
sila
counsel.
nagre-redirect.
Duly noted. Do
Just
you
a
still
short-
want a rejoinder,
Just a
counsel?
short rejoinder on the Las Cañas
Yes,
issue.
counsel.
Again, Your Honor, according to the rules, an affidavit must be testified to and identified by the person or the author of that affidavit. And in this case, such was not done. So, and an additional manifestation, Your Honor, that considering that it is unsigned and unnotarized, the law considers it as a mere scrap of paper. That's just a manifestation. And
Then let instead of letting this be an ongoing argument between both counsels, let the chair state.
Your Honor, may I just correct the manifestation?
No
of the
need, counsel.
evidence?
Let the chair state for the fourth time. The affidavit of Las Cañas was not offered as an authentic document executed by the affiant. Only that it was part of the documents used by Director Matibag in his open source investigation, as also clarified for the fifth time, if I will count it, by Senator Judge Lacson, that it was only part of the investigation of the NBI through what is called an open source investigation. Again, to reiterate, not as proof that of its authenticity and the truth of the contents contained in the affidavit or document purporting to be executed by Las Cañas.
And that it is signed, Your Honor.
Let that be the end of it, counsels, if you may. And we can proceed to the interventions and interjections of Senator Judges.